2024 is done. In my personal life, it was a pretty good year, a busy one. Some highlights include beta testing a major update to a certain wolf game many of you may have played, and a trip to Europe, during which I got to visit the forest that the Warrior setting is based on, even if I spent most of my time there sick in bed and didn't get to see much of it. For the Warrior series, I think it's best summarized as a year of beginnings and endings. Not just with the releases, but with new projects and events, new merch, and we said hello to some new faces and goodbye to others retiring. As far as the book releases, we saw the colorized reprint of The Rise of Scourge, which we weren't sure we'd ever get, the start of the graphic novel adaptation of The Prophecies Begin, and the final 2 books of the 8th arc, A Starless Clan, as well as a super edition taking place around the same time, Ivy Pool's Heart, which sets up for the one for this year. Definitely not a bad year overall as far as new books. It was also the first year they started doing strict on sale dates where stores can actually get in trouble for selling them early. Not that it completely stopped copies from finding their way out there. There was a whole bunch of new merchandise released throughout the year. The ones that people were most excited about were the 3 sets of minis and the set of new plushies, but I'll just include pictures of the rest in here. It's all in the official shopwarriorcats.com store if you're looking for more info or to purchase any. As far as the people, after James Barrie's announcement in late 2023 that A Thief in ThunderClan was his last Warriors graphic novel, he's currently working on a non-Warriors project as well as commissions, by the way. And this year we had 2 more people retiring from working on the series, audiobook narrator McLeod Andrews and longtime author Kate Carey. Their announcements were both on Instagram at the release of A Starless Clan number 6. They both spoke about how it was a creative choice on their part. McLeod said that after more than 50 books, he feels that listeners deserve a fresh perspective. And Kate says she wants to spend time finding a new voice and new stories to write. And honestly, that's fair. McLeod read the majority of the books and did it in a span of 7 years, which is already a long time, while Kate's been writing them for over 20, which is longer than many readers have even been alive. So yeah, it's definitely understandable she'd be ready for something new. I appreciate everything that these 2 have done for the series over all these years. Kate's books have meant a lot to me and have been a steady thing through the many paths that life has taken me over the last 20 years, and McLeod's voice brought the books to life. I wish both of them well on their future projects. Goodbyes are always sad, but on a brighter note, we did say hello to some new faces as well. Sarah Getter and Natalie Reese are adapting and illustrating the graphic novel adaptation of The Prophecies Begin, which had its first volume come out this past year. They attended some of the Barnes & Noble release events in their home state of Texas, sold a few of the original pages for charity, and plan to sell more in the future. I love Sarah's post here that shows that they add goofy little jokes sometimes while working on it. Speaking of the Barnes & Noble events, that's something that was new this year too. Barnes & Noble occasions holding a meetup event for the release of the book. Previously, the only events were wherever the authors, namely Vicky, were touring, which I never got the chance to attend, but this was more widespread. I made a video discussing my own experience. There should be a pop-up on the screen here if you want to see that one. But anyway, while there are ways these could have been improved for the future, it was still a lot of fun and really cool to meet other fans. I hope they continue this for the future. As far as other events, there was one held in Poland at PureCon again, and this time Cherith attended, which might be the first one she's done. Throughout the year, the official site continued to update, not just the regular articles and contests and reveals and stuff, but they also redid some of these early character designs that desperately needed to be fixed. So Leafstar, Tawnypelt, Hawkfrost, and other cats finally got the glow-up they deserved. One of the articles that stood out to me this year was the one about the real-life Millie that inspired the book character. She just turned 20, which is an impressive age for a cat. They also had announcements for new projects this year. One is that they're having the developers of the existing Warriorcats Ultimate Edition game on Roblox make a Lake Territory edition of the game, which we've known has been in the pipeline for a while from an old Trello board the devs shared. The official site posted a teaser for it, but no word yet on when it'll be released. And possibly the biggest announcement this year was that Tencent Video acquired the TV and film rights to the series. This isn't the first time that a company has bought the rights, and there's no guarantee that it'll actually turn into anything, since a large percentage of such deals never do. But it's still exciting to see it happen, and we can still cross our fingers. So far, it's looking like a TV series based on the first arc, and there was a presentation where they shared concept art. I went over this in more detail in a separate video if you're interested, but anyway, that's all we know of it so far. So, overall, not a bad year for Warriors. Most of what occurred with it this year were good things, and although we're saying goodbye to an arc, and more importantly, some of the people who worked with the books, there's still plenty to look forward to. How did you feel about everything that happened in the past year? Any particular highlights for you? For me, I'd say my favorite parts were the Barnes & Noble event, the release of the Prophecies Begin graphic novel, which lived up to my high expectations, and also Ivy Poole's Heart, which gave us quite a bit of new lore for the books. Here's hoping that 2025 is just as good a year for Warriors, and hope it's a good one in your personal life too. I'll be back soon to go over all the upcoming releases that we're aware of. Thank you all for watching.